What's going on, Jerome's? Vikings practice number 9 is in the books. Number nine. Vikings fans turnout was huge at training camp. Also, it was kind of funny. So, a lot of fans, a lot of journos are putting out videos and all that stuff. But I feel like there's one really drunk dude that you could hear in basically every single video. Like he was up, he was amped, he was hyped like this is third down in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. Something like that, man. It's just, yeah. That's right. He's clapping like Les Miles. Please clap. But Diamond Dallas Turner, the other first-round pick. I know that a lot of coverage is dedicated to the quarterback battle and also JJ McCarthy, future of the franchise. Fully understand that. Yeah, I get it, man. But Dallas Turner is going to make people regret how much he fell, or it's going to shock people. Like 10 years from now, they'll look at the Wikipedia entry for the 2024 draft and see like Dallas Turner 17. What? It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Also great. Justin friggin' Jefferson, just like boop. No big deal. It's almost like ad nauseum at this point, just talking about Justin Jefferson's greatness because it's just there. Right. But also it's something that you can become numb to and then you don't appreciate. So it's sort of like, the greatness of Harrison Smith. I mean, we've had a Hall of Fame caliber safety for last 12 plus years, right? But just sort of eventually just sort of fades into the background. Although like Jefferson's greatness, like it almost gets boring, but then you think about it, then you appreciate it that much more. I mean, just completely unguardable out there. And he's just doing his damn thing, man. Also, like the chemistry between Jefferson and Darnold is going to be very important for the success of the Vikings this year. If Darnold does indeed hang on to the starting job, he had himself a damn good practice. Alec Lewis, the athletic. Sam Darnold looking real sharp again today. Has found Justin Jefferson multiple times. One beauty on a deep corner, another layer ball over the middle to Justin. Had a couple of great shots as well in 11 on 11 later on in the day. So, I mean, again, that connection is going to be extremely important for the Vikings. Also, McCarthy had a couple nice tosses to JJ, so everything works out. It's almost like anyone looks good throwing to Justin Jefferson. I mean, Nick Mullins had 2 almost 400-yard games against the Lions with Jefferson. No big deal. A couple of injury notes. Alec Lewis saw tight end N'Keal Harry walk into the locker room earlier with the trainer. I didn't see what happened there, but wanted to note. Also, I believe Gabriel Murphy went back into the locker room. I didn't see an update about that, but something to keep in mind. And the serious one, Alec Lewis again. Vikings defensive tackle Jerry Tillery was down for a few minutes. The cart came out, but instead Tillery got on the golf cart. Didn't look good at all. He's been taking reps with the first 5 techs looks at defensive tackle. So Tillery's been penciled in as a starter. Basically, across it's been Bullard as well as Harrison Phillips and Tillery. But yeah, Tillery would be a loss, man. Although 99 looks weird on Jerry. I don't know, man. Also, some fantastic news. Yeah, Will Reichard rebounded from his sort of shaky performance the other day. Will Reichard, Sports Illustrated. Will Reichard just went 6 for 6, good from 33, 42, 46, 48, 53, 58. I've been everywhere, man. Even the 58-yarder had plenty room to spare. Saw a clip of it. I mean, that thing was like Justin Tucker, probably good from 65, type range. So Will Reichard, the Empire Strikes Back. There's a reason why the players who know ball voted Will Reichard number 1. It's fantastic. Some random news and notes. All right, so Justin Jefferson obviously is him. Jefferson and Addison unguardable at times, and I feel like that's sort of flown under the radar, where Addison has been just a nail driver throughout a practice so far, and probably is not going to play in preseason. Also, they had him returning punts again. It's just, you're not going to put a star player on returns. You're just not going to do it, man. Unless it's like late, it's the final return of the Super Bowl, then maybe you put your star back there. But no, because I think like Randy Moss returned like 2 punts, something like that. Caleb and Fabian Moreau, first team cornerback with Byron Murphy on the other side. After Tillery got injured, it was a mixture. So it was Jonah Williams, who had been basically the third 4-tech, 5-tech throughout camp so far, as well as Patrick Jones II putting his hand in the dirt. So PJ2, a little bit more of a hybrid player in this instance. And Patrick Jones II, I know we tried to trade him earlier in the day or yesterday. He might have some staying power, man. He's looking really damn good. But they rotated first team 5-tech. McCarthy getting checks on line scrimmage. We'll get more of a JJ here after this. Screen game working better than last year. I mean, Brian Osmo blew up a screen yesterday, but overall, like especially the receiver tunnel screens, we're making some hay. And I think part of it is just a more emphasis on blocking downfield, or they're just running screens to Addison, who's very bad at blocking. I mean, maybe that's the solution. Also, something to note. So it shifted towards the end of practice, but I noticed something that it's mainly throughout practice this week, especially, it's mainly been first team offense versus second team defense and second team offense versus first team defense. Now, I don't know if that's trying to build up Darnold's confidence. I don't think he needs it. I think that he's fine. Or I don't know if it's just specifically to test out McCarthy. Who really knows, man? That Darnold-Munt chemistry is legit. Had a nice little 30, 35-yard connection up the seam with Johnny Munt. Also, remember the broken play in the red zone yesterday, a bit of a scramble drill. Darnold drilled Munt in the back of the end zone for 6, which is good to see, man. And Munt, especially with Hockenson on blocks and Tanyan out with the back spasms, like his opportunity, it's wide open, pun intended, with him and Oliver as the top 2 tight ends going into the start of the season. So this may be something, this may be nothing, but just from the clips and reports, a bit more gap runs versus zone runs this time around. Now, of course, this could just be a camp thing as they're working out various things, and with gap, it is. It does tend to be a little bit more physical, and O'Connell has stressed physicality up front, but they did have 39.8% gap runs versus zone runs last year, so maybe that could be like a 50-50 with crystal ball type split. Who knows, man? Like Jones, Chandler, adept in both, we'll be fine. Also, Aaron Jones is good. I mean, finding the fountain of youth, nothing earth-shattering there. Jalen Naylor still looking good. I think that Powell is going to have his role, but I still think that Naylor could hang on to that wide receiver 3 gig right now. Patrick Jones second. Patrick Jones second has had some eye-popping reps, man, and against the ones too. So he had a couple reps over this week where he basically just ate Ryan O'Neal's lunch, and I drink your milkshake. So PJ too. All right, so that edge rusher room is going to be deep, man. So it's Grenard, it's AVG, it's Diamond Dallas Turner, it's Patrick Jones second, it's Gabriel Murphy. I mean, 5 deep. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Also, LDR continue to get work with the ones, rotating in there on passing downs. I think that's going to be his role early and hopefully pretty often. And then, of course, JJ McCarthy. That's right. So on this one, McCarthy, basically Cashman came in unblocked through one of the A gaps. But what was great is that, number 1, McCarthy saw it coming. Number 2, he stood tall in the pocket, ready to take a shot if this was an actual game. And number 3, delivered a strike, and the Vikings were on the move. So there's a lot to take away from that one. Also, so in a lot of ways, Diamond Dallas Turner is a lot like JJ McCarthy, where he's constantly bugging. Darisaw, he's bugging Mike Pettin, as seen up there in the top left-hand corner. Who Pettin's filling in at outside linebackers coach this year, and basically just wants to get better every single day. I think the Vikings really nailed it with these 2 first-round picks with McCarthy and Dallas Turner. Also, McCarthy did get a little bit more first-team work today. Yesterday, it was like 2 red zone reps, but today it was 7-on-7 drills. Now, you have to take 7-on-7 with a grain of salt. I mean, Wes Phillips said, you should look good in 7-on-7 because it's an offensive drill. But 4 straight completions with the first team 7-on-7. Jefferson, Josh Oliver, and Addison twice on the receiving end. And just various news and notes, like he rebounded from his worst practice at camp. Like even though it was like decent and he had some moments, like obviously Friday was his worst of camp so far, but he rebounded. And also I love that he's still slinging it, right? So he could have sort of hung his head in shame. It is my shame. And then just sort of turtled it and checked it down and blah, blah, blah. But no, it was basically F it. Still slinging it. Don't care. Also, something you notice about is that even when he makes mistakes, decisive, ball is out quick, and that's something that's going to carry over for when he's eventually the starter. Also, so notice this early in the week, O'Connell's giving him latitude to check at the line of scrimmage. So yeah, that's a good sign early that the kid is getting it and absorbing the playbook as it's given to him. Plus, so this happens a lot with young quarterbacks, like being able to Charlie skedaddle when needed. I mean, that's certainly going to help you out. That can be a great competitive advantage. And with the interior offensive line, if McCarthy does get out there, I mean, moving around is going to greatly help him. And remember, that's what we liked about Christian Ponder in 2011. Like in preseasons, like and even when he took over the starting job from Donovan McNabb, it's like, he's running. Oh, he takes off. Oh, that's nice. He picked up the chains. There you go. And then he kept doing it. And then he kept doing it. And like he refused to stand in the pocket and go through his progressions and possibly take a shot and deliver a ball. And just like, all right. Yeah. Also, his ability to make plays off script. Now, this is something that a lot of people sort of poo-pooed. But if you watch him at Michigan, like obviously he wasn't asked to do it often. But when he was asked to make a play off script when something wasn't open, where he had to move off the spot or something wasn't there, he was able to do it. And of course, his cannon, his hose of an arm, he also would fail the pole vault. But he was able to do that. And we always said that Kirk Cousins was a great sheet music musician, but he couldn't do jazz. I think that McCarthy can certainly do both. Yeah. Also, you notice on a couple of the touch passes. So one of the concerns was his velocity, but not in the way that you would think. Like he had plenty of arm to be able to squeeze into tight windows, but he didn't know when to throw the changeup or take a little something off it. But you notice like in a couple of touch spots where he's got to dip it over a linebacker or a safety to the receiver in front of a corner or things like that. Has been able to add a lot more touch, though, taking a little mustard off the hot dog, as it were. But that's it. I mean, not the practice in the books. Vikings got the day off tomorrow, back at it Monday night, weather permitting. Famous night practice. Hopefully the rain holds off because it's a great experience for everyone involved. And if they move it inside, there will be no one in there. That's all, man. But you guys know what to do. Skol, production value.